maybe. Yay, it's Thursday.
Somehow.
Oh, it's a weird Thursday.
It felt like Saturday today.
It felt so weird this week. Like this whole week has just been messing me up because I'm like, oh, the weekend, blah blah blah. It was like, no, that was Wednesday.
Yeah. I've been off work for over a week, and so I just kind of lost track of the days. I didn't really even know. I just heard the trash guys come out front this morning. Just told me it was Thursday. That's
yeah.
where I am with.
Well, even that's all screwed up because of the holidays. They bumped everything, so I can't go off of that. The new guy is Scott. He's actually not a new guy. He's just not as frequent on the lives.
Yeah.
Scott is an OG friend from, probably 5 years ago.
More. More like 7.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay, don't make us feel old.
I've appeared in a couple videos here and there, and whenever there's a car or anything of interest down here in South Florida, I go and investigate for the business.
Yeah, we've stored some cars there. We've had you look at multiple cars. We've had you help us with shipping and stuff. So we've done some stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all good. But hello, everyone. Post-Christmas. Hopefully everyone had happy holidays if you celebrate that. And if not, well, hopefully you got some time off from work. And if not, it's Thursday.
Yeah, if not, don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, sorry. Hi. That's what we'll say. So yeah, it's kind of strange. It was really slow at the shop today, but Tyler actually swung by. Him and another friend of ours, Greg. Greg was dropping off his Scud because tomorrow we're going to install headers in his Scud.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, dude, all right. Anyone want to guess how much one header from Ferrari costs for the 430 Scuderia?
15.
Just one, left or right, doesn't matter. I'll say if you can come within $5,000.
Oh shit.
Way off. You're all off by at least a decimal place. Let's see here. No one's even within 5,000 yet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
15K.
Okay.
I'll throw that out.
Very, very close.
18.
16. $16,000 for one.
Does he have a cracked header? Is that why he found that out? Is he replacing it for a reason?
It's warped or something.
Yeah.
So he's got some sort of ticking sound, whatever. It could be cracks. The Scud headers don't crack as often as the regular 430 headers because they don't have precats from the factory. So, yeah, it was funny because.
And you let me hold that today, Greg? What the hell? You didn't tell me.
Well, those aren't factory ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those are so we got them Capristo, which are like upper end expensive ones with heat blankets, and those were less than half the cost of just one.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. I was thinking like in the $3,000 range is what I heard, and then when you said 16, I was like, okay, hold on.
Yeah. And by the way, this is Greg. So this is who we're talking about. And that thumbnail
the
is
car.
the Scud in question. So it's a absolutely stunning Abu Dhabi blue Scud. It's like one of my favorite colored Scubs ever. It's just gorgeous. So I'm actually kind of excited to work on it just because I get to stare at it.
It's going to go from sounding amazing to sounding incredibly amazing, I would imagine.
I don't know if it'll actually change the sound a whole lot. The headers on those cars are actually pretty decent. So it'll change a tiny bit. It might get a tiny bit louder because these are closer to equal length headers versus and I think the factory ones might still do 421s on those. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But yeah, anyway, when Greg called me up, he's like, "Hey, I need to get new headers." And I got quoted $32,000 for them. Really?
Yeah. Hashtag Ferrari tax.
I was like, wow, that's almost an engine. Like you could actually buy a regular 430 engine for that much.
God. I mean, I guess that's proof that even Ferrari doesn't want to put those on because they suck so bad to do.
Well, he was telling me, he's like, they quoted the installation cost at $3,500. He's like, that's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And then the next day they called him up like, oh, we screwed up. That's actually for one.
Oh my God.
So $7,000 installation. I was like, okay, that's kind of about what I would have thought. Factory R421. Okay. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So Capristo R421 and not 4-1. Interesting. So it shits down very similar then.
Well, good, because it already sounded good. So
I mean, yeah, it's not going to be a dramatic difference in sound any way you dice it. But yeah. So the topic of the video, which I figure is a lengthy thing we can talk about, will the supercar market soar or crash in 2025? So there's lots of guesses out there, and let's be real, they're all guesses. So first of all, people always ask my opinion, like, hey, do you think these are going to hold their value, or this car is going to go up, or whatever? I'm like, if I could predict the future, I would be much richer than I am right now. So I don't know. So we already got someone saying it's going to crash. Yeah, Capristo makes very, very high quality stuff. So they don't sell as easy because they are more expensive. But I mean, they're German made, so like, and they just have a, I don't know, like they've just been very easy to work with. We've never had a Capristo not fit first try. Like the build quality is just excellent, All right, so we got crash, will not crash, but 10 to 15% decline. Okay. Oh, interesting point. If California bans classic cars in 2025, supercars will skyrocket. Well, the older ones would, right?
Yeah, older ones. It's a different market.
Yeah,
They're discussing banning classic cars, as in the mecca of car culture in America is going to ban classic cars. I don't know. Are you talking about the ICE engine versus EV?
Yeah, I thought they were saying like they're going to try and make it so it's all electric. But does that mean like all new cars are electric, or all cars have to be electric? Because if it's all new cars have to be electric, that's different, and that obviously creates a different situation than if you already own a non-electric car and they're saying, oh, that can no longer drive in California. First of all, car culture will just die instantly overnight.
Businesses would go out.
Yeah, Texas would be insane.
I would argue that would actually crush the valuation of these cars, because then all these people are going to be selling them.
Yeah,
because they no longer could have them.
No, I think it's unrealistic to assume they're going to make all the ICE engines leave California, but he may be talking about that mandate for EVs, but I don't know if that's actually, I mean, I feel like there's going to be a lot of pushback on that. They might keep kicking that can down the road.
Yeah. Everybody's broke except for the top percent. Well, that's true. But here's the only interesting thing I would say is I think there's becoming clear. There's like this clear feeling in the world right now that like there's like the haves and the have-nots, and it's going to create this like. I think it's going to be a thing where like what do they call it? Conspicuous consumption is going to lose its in vogue status right now. Like right now, it's all like, oh, look at me, I bought all this very expensive shit. Like that's very much in vogue with social media and all that sort of stuff, right? I think that might become where it's like no one cares about that anymore, or it is no longer cool, which I think that means a lot of the new cars might be hurt. But I think a lot of the older cars are cheap enough now that it's like these aren't rich people buying, $100,000 Ferraris.
Yeah,
Like,
a new regular car and truck is damn close too.
Right, exactly. A new SUV, a new, GMC Suburban that's loaded could be $100,000.
Easy.
A pickup truck can be over $100,000 now.
Yeah.
So $100,000 isn't crazy money anymore. Now, yes, it's stupid money for a car that is a toy.
Yeah.
But still, so I don't know. It's a really interesting question, right? And again, I don't have an answer for you. I just thought I'd talk about this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Scuds, S2000 CRs and F12s increased by 25%. Rest of the market in free fall. That's because, if you don't know, that's what he owns.
You want STOs to stay up too, right, Greg?
Yeah. Oh, there's a bidding war going on for LP640s right now. For one or multiple? Are they finally shooting up? I have a feeling those might be getting snapped up because of the whole, okay, we can convert them thing now.
Yep.
That would not shock me. I actually just got, I just had to go over to the shop where my Jeep is today and pay them a bunch of money to go order parts. So it went from bad news to worse news to, okay, it's even worse yet.
Oh, good.
So they could not salvage any of the differential or the rear, the axle, everything. He said the axle shafts got loose and actually flubbed around inside the axle tube, shattered the bearing and races, and then like basically bored out the walls of the axle.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so he couldn't reuse anything basically. So the axle shaft, the bearings. He said the only thing that might be salvageable is the gears.
Oh,
jeez.
Nice. Little Christmas bonus. Which axle is it?
It's the rear axle.
Just tell them to hollow it out and just go back to
Oh,
four.
that's, you could almost just.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to the Moab, and you're just cruising it until you get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, the only problem is like, then you at least gotta at least fix the axles, otherwise you can't have the wheels even on it, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you just need a new housing and axles.
Yeah.
You'd be even more of a poser by having a big 6-wheel drive truck.
Right.
It's only 4x4.
Right.
Totally agree on this one. Like, I mean, you can't buy a nice car for under $30,000-$40,000 now.
Yeah.
Like a regular car is stupid. So yes, we did buy a used Jeep differential. That's what we're doing. But even that is still a couple $1,000s. So I thought maybe I could get out of the whole thing for about $3,000. And now it's looking like it's gonna be closer to $5,000, which still isn't the end of the world, but oh well. Yeah. Anyway, what's current inventory? 2458s. Testarossa, California. Those are all the Ferraris we got. We've got hold on. The AMG G-Wagon is finally on the market. We've got a Mustang Shelby GT500 with 2,000 miles on it. It's in
mint.
Yeah, perfect condition, velocity blue, gorgeous. I can't wait to play with it in the next few days. We have I'm trying to visualize where everything is. Oh, we have the C6 Grand Sport Centennial Edition LS or Core LT
Nice.
with like, I think it's like 12,000 or something miles on it. It's absolutely awesome. Then we also have a BMW M Coupe with only 21,000 miles on it. So, yeah. Not really any serious interest in the Testarossa. It's we're probably gonna have to auction that car just because it's one of those that, you know, it's hard to find the right buyer. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. Josh and I, every time we see any give me the VIN car, the CR, we always say subtract at least 1 point.
Oh, jeez. What's give me the VIN?
It's one of the so it's weird because like they're a seller on Manheim, but it's like obviously they're sponsored by Manheim somehow because they're integrated so well into Manheim. Like they have their own offices at Manheim and stuff. So obviously they're not just like a normal seller. But anyway, I mean, anytime you buy anything from Manheim, you always assume the CR is lower than what they say. That way, if it's actually what they say, you're like, oh, surprise. But yes, the clown shoe. We have a clown shoe.
Dan, do you prefer cars and bids or bring a trailer for your auctions? I mean, you've run both, obviously. So
for us to sell?
Yeah. And is that what you meant when you said auction the Testarossa? Or are you talking?
Yeah, it would be on one of those. We'd have to sell it. Oh wait, no, I guess we could because Cars and Bids doesn't sell things below I think 1980. So, but you could still sell it to 87. Because we ran into that with some other cars we wanted to sell with Cars and Bids. So it's funny. I like Cars and Bids working with them better. They're easier to work with, but I feel like we don't get as much value out of a car when we sell it there. And I think that's partly because they are more about like older cars. Steven!
Hey.
Hey.
What's up? So,
sorry, it took me a while.
No, dude, it's all good. Do you have any idea how much one of the factory gated Californias would sell for? No clue because I'm not aware of any that have sold. I think they made 3 or is it 5? But it's less than 10.
Dang.
So,
and one of them at least crashed, right?
And one of them crashed. And that transmission ended up somehow in Texas. Yeah. How much can a dealership like yours make? Range is fine. Wonder if it's worth making the jump from corporate. I mean, profit?
It's how much work you want to put in, right?
I mean, yeah. And how much money do you have to start with?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions. Like, it's not a thing I can just answer, right? Because I would tell you, you probably will make less than you do in the corporate world. In fact, I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, you have to work a lot more to make less.
Definitely work a lot more.
Although no TPS reports.
True. No, less bullshit. Well, that's not
it's
true.
A different type of bullshit.
Different type of
bullshit. Exactly. I feel like Cars and Bids seems to sell the lower priced cars. It also seems to sell like the weird cars that, you know, like this weird whatever super rare BMW wagon, you know, or something. It's kind of what I feel like. So yeah. That's true. As an employee in the corporate world, you don't get sued. Generally. I mean, you could really screw up.
Never say never.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted, really.
America, we'll find a way.
Depends what data you stole.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. So who's getting murdered in the background? At whose house? What are you talking? Oh, I guess in the back you have like skulls or something up there, Steven.
It's art. Monica likes skulls.
There you go. Doug did a video about how new cars don't excite him, and couldn't agree more. There's, like I said, the only thing Ferrari's come out with in the last 5 years that I've been like, wow, is the SP3.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm just kind of like, eh. So
I think another part of it is that they're just so far away from the common person. They're just so out of reach. There's always, you can appreciate the art of it, and but you can only get so much out of like seeing them on track on YouTube when you know that you'll never be able to afford them. But
yeah, when they start producing cars that are $600,000-$700,000+, it's no longer obtainable for us like normal but reasonably wealthy people. Like people who can afford an extra $100,000 to $200,000. There's a lot of people who can afford an extra $100,000 to $200,000 car who no way in hell can afford a $500,000 car.
Exactly.
Like that's a big stretch. And that's the thing, is like we've kind of found this like sweet spot of like cars under $300,000 are what we like the most, because that's the stuff that's the audience that we have. That's the right like combination of things versus like, and the other thing is it sounds weird, but it's easier to sell those cars because the financing is easier, the insurance is easier, everything about it's easier. When we sold that Scud or the Speciale, that was a $500-something thousand car. It's a difficult transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're talking about house money easily. The insurance on a car is not just something you can just call up and get. The guy wanted to do some financing, so the financing on this thing was like, it took a month. So it literally took a month to get all the financing in order for this car, and just crazy crap, right? So I don't know that I would want to sell those cars like as our primary business. I think it would be extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have we thought about motorhomes and hot tubs? No.
Just slide a pinky ring on and go to work.
Two things that just I despise. Two things, no thanks. What do you think of Hoovie's Veyron? Was that a dumb decision? I don't know if it was dumb, but it remains to be seen if it was the right decision. I think the problem is, again, it goes into like a different price point where it's hard to relate to. And I think that's what hurt Stradman, is Stradman got into the hypercar world and started buying the Koenigsegg and all this stuff that's over $1 million. And it's like, it's cool to see and it's neat to see driven, but it's no longer relatable in any sort of real way to most of us, right? Like, and I'm going to argue, I don't even know that many of us even dream of those cars, right? Because it's just so far out there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think, like, it's like, sure, I would love to have an F40, but I don't dream about owning one because it's never going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, it doesn't ever enter my brain.
Well,
versus, what's that?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. The problem with like Stradman or Hoovie get buying them is they'll have a peak. They'll gain traction. They'll peak with it, and then how many different times can you see them going on a rally or driving it around Utah? There's only so much.
Right.
Then they're just carrying that lease or that note, hoping that the revenue catches up, and it just will continually go down. Right. I'm assuming. I'm not a YouTube
right.
expert. I just stayed at a Holiday Inn, but
yeah.
I would imagine that Strad will sell that thing off soon.
I think it will be if Hoovie dumps it quick, I think it'll be a good move. But I think if he holds it, he's going to lose his ass. That's my prediction, because I don't see that those cars are going to retain value. Like, if anything, he's already showing that it's just a Volkswagen that's overpriced. That's kind of like not that impressive. Like,
it makes me wonder if they're doing something with Bugattis in the next car trek, because they announced they're doing another car trek.
Yeah,
and if Ed bought one and Tyler bought one.
Well, they're gonna do hypercars.
Yeah, but why would they both have the same car then? I don't know.
Well, so because I don't think Tavares will buy a
Well,
Veyron.
I can see that. Yeah, but he's got plenty of other stuff.
He's tapped out.
Yeah,
right.
He's got that Aventador.
But he's got the P1.
Disappeared too.
Yeah, but he could be like, oh, I have a P1. So, like
Yeah.
those guys were talking about it when they had the episode where they're at Amelia Island. They were joking about Tavares was like, I'm the first one that bought a hypercar, so ha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually, some of Hoovie's logic in the Veyron was that Ed bought the Veyron, and Ed really, I'm going to say Ed personally helped bring up the value of Murcielagos and the awareness of those cars. And I think he's trying to do that again with the Veyron.
Yeah.
And
And
Hoovie
just-
wants to be in before that game happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, exactly that. So which I think that's the thing. The Mercies got to where they were super cheap. So pumping up the value on those was easy because a lot of people could afford them. Like when the Murcielagos got down into low hundreds, it's like, yeah, okay, I will buy a V12 Lamborghini with fucking scissor doors for 150 grand all day long. But then the Veyron, it's like even the cheapest ones are still over $1 million.
Right.
Yep.
So how many people out there are watching his videos going, oh shit, I'm gonna buy me a Veyron? I don't know. I think that's a tall order, but I could be wrong. So
If he's watching, he can join us and tell us.
yeah. Which I hope he's wrong for their sake, because I know
yeah.
it suck, man.
Well, in Ed's case, what would be
This
Yeah.
too.
Mm.
Dude, when he talks about the $35,000 a month payment on his lease or whatever it is, it's like, dude,
Yeah, there's people that don't make that in a year. Like,
yeah, like you have viewers literally that can't make that in a year working full time. So it's like, oof.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If he doesn't dump it soon, I would be shocked because I just cannot imagine he's getting an ROI on that.
yeah.
But what would Ed's end game be of pumping up Mercy values?
Well, he owns.
Because he never sells them. Like he keeps them. So
Well, he'll go through them. You watch.
yeah, maybe.
I mean, if you could just sit there and sit on it for a while until the values come to a place you like. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the big thing he did was he raised the awareness of the Murcielagos manual and the rarity of it. So
Yeah.
and that's another point. Yeah, and everyone already knows about the Veyrons. So yeah, I mean, I personally, when a bunch of the big car YouTubers started doing the hypercar stuff, I just tuned out. I did not care anymore. And it's interesting because I feel like their views are down. So, I've said this before. I think my favorite car YouTuber is actually Cletus McFarland. Like he's always been the same character, and he doesn't give one crap about like anything other than drag racing, right? Like that is his mission in life, is to drag race cars, and he's stayed true to that. And now he's turned it into a huge empire.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's funny because like everyone was always talking about Doug DeMuro and how this was the savvy thing of doing cars and bids and selling that and made a ton of money. But I'm gonna say, long run, Cletus is gonna crush everyone. Like I think of all the car YouTubers, he will make more money off of all the businesses he's created from YouTube than anyone else.
His content's been getting much better recently, in my opinion. It seems like he's taking it up another notch effortlessly. It's just
Yeah. Well, because his personality lends to it, right? Like he's super easygoing personality that you can just laugh at and have fun with, like. And the other thing is, like, you don't even have to really care about the stuff he's working on because he presents in an interesting way that you find entertaining.
Yeah.
Like he's a true entertainer. He's
I
just
watched an hour-long video pumping concrete, and I never thought I'd say that.
You did that. I did that. I did that too.
Like, he was at my house when we watched it.
God, I'm sitting there watching him pour concrete for an hour, and Meg was like, "We're watching paint dry. Change the channel. This is the dumbest thing ever." And she was so mad at me, and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." Like, I think more than Whistling Diesel. I think
Yeah.
more so. Yeah. Whistling Diesel is doing a good job, but I feel like his business is too targeted towards younger demographic versus Cletus is towards a huge swath of people. So the only flaw in Cletus's plan is that drag racing is a declining sport. So that's the only problem, right?
Yeah.
Like the amount of people who want to drag race is decreasing, year over year. So it's a market that's shrinking, but he's taking a huge swath of it.
Yep.
So,
Dan, have you seen Stanceworks, Mike Burrows work on the F40?
I saw the first video or two of it, and then I just was like, you lost me, man. Like it just
really?
went to a place that I'm like, yeah, I don't care anymore.
I actually really like his stuff. He started out not too long ago, but it was already highly polished, like from the get-go.
Yeah.
His channel, he's been doing well. I'm interested to see where he takes it.
I think part of it's just the type of cars that he's playing with aren't my style.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and I don't know. I like, it's an interesting idea, but it was like, yeah. Oh yeah. Out of nowhere comes the Supercar Ron guy. And
I haven't seen that one.
I'm sorry, but like if you can't even show your face for real, like if you're unwilling to do that, like sorry, I don't care. I just can't watch it. I'm like, well, I don't know who you are, so I don't care.
It is really interesting that he took that approach.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
he's wearing a fake beard and a fake wig, like an OnlyFans girl, hiding their face sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's strange. Like I get why, like, so the funny thing is everyone always forgets that actually probably the biggest car YouTuber is Chris Fix.
Yeah.
I think he's got like 7 million subscribers now or something like that. It's insane. But he doesn't really have any businesses attached to it. It's all pretty much just YouTube.
Mm.
He started selling some tools with his name on it, though.
I think he's moved into that. Yeah. But it's kind of like, to me, I'm like, I'm not going to buy tools just because it's got your name on it, right? Like, I'm going to buy the tools that I need.
Yeah. And are good quality.
Right, that are good quality.
Yeah.
Not saying his aren't. I don't know.
Right. No, I don't know anything about them. I don't own any of them. So I don't want to crap on him because he's actually a really nice guy. I've met him. But I honestly don't think that much. I think he's still like highly revered in the car world. Like everyone loves Jay. And if you're a car fanatic, you have to not like, there's no way you can't like him. Right. Like, because he's basically like taken all of his wealth and every bit of his time and dedicates it towards cars. So it's like, you can't not appreciate that.
Yep.
But like, I don't know that he is as relevant anymore in the social media world. Right. So
I mean, his last video that was like super engaging for me was him driving the big boy train.
Yeah. That one was actually really good.
Yeah. And then of course all this random railroad crap showed up on YouTube, but it's like I just want to watch this one thing.
Yeah. Oh Lord. I don't know. So this is exactly like this, right? I feel like if you're a attractive blonde woman, you've got a huge leg up on everyone else. So, oh, hey, look, there's Josh.
Safe travels, Josh.
Yeah. Fly safe. But I don't know. I feel like obviously they have Supercar Blondie has a huge enough following that she's going to be around for a while, but the funny thing is the proof's in the pudding. So she tried to replicate Cars and Bids. She's created an auction system and it hasn't, as far as I can see, has not gone anywhere. Oh, sorry if you can hear my kid in the background.
Radwood tried to do the same thing. I think they tried to launch an auction site and it failed immediately.
That's like the lowest hanging fruit because it's, hell, I tried to do it and it didn't work. Yes, I think they can. 100%.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you get 1 million views on a video and you have a market for, okay, so let's look at the event, the Murcielago. They only made a couple thousand Murcielagos total, right? And so let's say you get a couple million views on a couple of videos and it inspires 20 people to go out and buy a Murcielago that weren't going to do that. You're talking like a reasonable percentage of the market, you know? So yeah.
Well, and when he's like exposing, like, oh, they actually only made X many of these, and I've made a database of all the different options, and that drives values up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see here. What else is going on? Looking around. Yeah, and this is the other thing is who actually likes Supercar Plus? But at least everyone kind of like Doug. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very valid point.
Yeah, she has a way of, like someone else commented here a minute ago, she has a way of getting access to things. Like she drove that Vaporware Devil 16 and gets to see other concept cars, and that brings people in. But you know, that only can support you for so long too. And as a matter of fact, last time I looked at her videos, it wasn't even her; it was some dude. I don't know. Yeah, I've seen 2 videos where she was just not in it. It was a guy doing some talking. So, you know, I don't know what the game plan was there, but there was not even a blonde to hook anyone in.
Like, what is this crap?
Yeah. So,
interesting question. How's the non-supercar side of the car business going? So far, reasonable. The first Corvette C6 we bought sold very quickly and actually made a little bit of money. The Mustang GT500, the first one we had, did okay. It sold fairly quick. The AMG G-Wagon, we finally got listed. It took a month for us to get sorted before we could list it. So I don't really have that one's not doing well because it's taken a month. So no real results there, but we got another C6 and another GT500 and the M Coupe. So we're trying to see what the market's like on these cars. So I'm cautiously optimistic that we can continue to do this and at least make some money on the non-supercars. So that's cool. Yeah. A question for the 599 conversion. Do you get a true sense of the soul of the car with all your senses like sight and sound and so on? I mean, it's a different experience. You know, it definitely is more engaging. I don't know if it brings out the soul of the car. That's a weird way to describe it, but it enhances the driving experience considerably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I mean, there's the rev hang thing with the 599s too, right? So is it really the soul of the car? No. Like, it's still a computer in the background.
Well, without it, it's just pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's just pain in the ass. So
yeah. Yes, we have talked about it. There are companies already doing it. Thing I don't know is like how much it helps the valuation of it. But what I would like to do is get a hold of a conversion kit and see how hard it is to install and maybe start offering installation as a service. So that's what we'd like to do.
That would make them a good value.
Yeah.
Those R8s.
Yeah, because that's a cool little car as a manual. Like
as a manual, right?
Yeah, the transmission, the tip, whatever tronic or whatever it's called, version of it is just kind of not impressive. So, outside of sponsorships and affiliates, who has made legit business from YouTube? So us, Doug DeMiro, Cletus McFarland. Who else is doing crazy stuff? That's got a big business now.
Street Speed.
Street Speed.
I mean, it's all merch for his YouTube channel, but hey, it's a legitimate business.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually, what's his name? The gun guy,
Oh, Demolition Ranch.
Demolition Ranch started up that whole merch company from YouTube, and he's got like his rental properties or his VRBOs and stuff now.
Yeah, soon to be
So,
resort.
but not car YouTuber. Who else car YouTuber has done? Yeah, and merch is kind of a. I wouldn't want to like of all the businesses to create from YouTube, merch would not be the one I would want to do because it's still really tightly coupled to YouTube.
It is.
And that was my whole thing is I wanted to be able to say at any point in time, if YouTube blows up and goes away, the company doesn't die.
Yeah.
That was my fear is I'm like, look, YouTube is fleeting potentially, it's
Fickle.
yeah. So, and I also don't like any business where I am at the mercy of a third party. Like that
Who takes a
always,
cut.
yeah, that always bothers me because like if they change so that happened really early on in my career. I was trying to do some software for these guys that were doing an eBay company or eBay thing, right? And I changed this eBay code they had, and it started printing money. I mean. And I was supposed to be guaranteed a huge percentage of the revenue. And as soon as it started making all this money, they immediately changed the rules on me.
Of course.
And I was like, you slimy bastard. So
change the code back.
I should have. But anyway, so I was like, screw you guys, I'm out. Right. So I left. Well, the next month, eBay changed the rules about that exact thing that we were doing. And it just overnight, basically their business died. So I was like, screw you guys. Yeah. Anyway. Hoovie has I don't know if he owns a significant interest in Freddy's. I know he owns some Freddy's, but that's like not because of YouTube, right? That's I want to say who created stuff because of their YouTube channel.
Yeah. What's Freddy's?
It's a burger chain.
Oh.
I think he got into that before YouTube, actually.
Yeah, he did that before YouTube. Yeah. Bring back the drive up diners YouTubers. That would be, kind of cool.
Yeah. The problem is you have such a wide like marketing scope on YouTube, and then for a restaurant, it's hyper local.
It's all localized. Yeah.
I mean, maybe in a big city like Austin be okay because people would travel here, but
dude, Josh and I ask this question all the time. The finances do not add up. Like, so there was actually the guy who started Tactical Fleet did a interview. I think it was a podcast or something, and I watched the whole thing because it was really fascinating. And they definitely got some huge investments from some big money. So the only thing I can think of is they're living off those investors, and at some point that can't keep going. So I'm buying a ZR1 and trading Dan for an F40. I mean, if I had an F40, but
yeah,
definitely should buy a ZR1. I feel like ZR1s are a good buy right now.
Yeah,
basically any generation of
any of them.
Any of them, doesn't matter. If you can buy a ZR1, get it. Yeah, the Strad pizza thing.
There's a high markup in pizza, but the average restaurant,
I feel like
make it after a certain amount of years. They say it's a tough business to be in.
I don't understand that one. I felt like that was not a brilliant use of money. That's my feeling. But I could be wrong.
$36,000 a month on a lease for a car. It's not, I don't know if that's brilliant use of money either.
True.
It's all relative. I get it, but
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. I feel like all we've been doing is bashing other YouTubers. But that's not true. We've been saying positive things.
Yeah.
A lot of them, I actually don't.
I love Strad's story. I love that he started almost sleeping in a car and scraping together money to buy that Lamborghini. And look what he's made. It's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah. Truly. It's incredible. Strad coin. All right. How many of you idiots bought Hawk coin and lost your ass?
Yeah. Actually, that's what you should do, Dan. Since you have the coding skills, you make a normal guy coin.
Normal guy super coin.
Never super.
Crypto
But I'll just be
bros.
like, I'll just be straight up from the start. I'm like, this is a scam. Straight up. If you give me your money, you will not get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I found out about that, I'm like, what morons bought
I mean,
a cryptocurrency based on a girl who talks about spinning on a dong? Like, that's the dumbest thing. You are so stupid if you bought that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Ben's right here. In the crypto world, they'd eat that shit up.
it's
It's so dumb. She's a national hero. I mean, kudos to her for riding her 15 seconds of fame for way longer than anyone ever thought possible. I mean,
Yep.
and way harder. Like she went from zero to rubbing shoulders with the top levels of bullshit social media in like a month and a half, 2 months.
I hope the pun was intentional there, Dan. She wrote it way longer and harder.
I didn't even catch that, but
Oh my god.
that was not my intention. But wait, no, yeah, I meant to do that. But it just, oh Lord, yeah, that is the least shocking thing ever. And you know,
Well, especially when you have like you take your millions of dollars you made from your 15 minutes of fame and you blow this coin up so everyone buys in and then just pull all the money out. Like,
yeah,
wonderful, so smart.
Yeah. And then that interview, and then she's like, "Well, I'm going to bed."
Yep.
And then disappeared for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
That was called "I'm lawyering up." Time out.
yeah.
Oh
If
man.
CoffeeZilla gets in on something you're doing, you're screwed.
Oh, dude.
It's over. Like
Seriously, like,
immediately.
man, I'd never want him to call me. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm screwed. Like, I don't know what I did, but I'm screwed."
Yep.
Oh Lord. Yeah, he's isn't it sad that that's like some of the best investigative journalism we have now is a YouTuber?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
It's really depressing.
People watching him work makes me want to keep my nose clean. Just in every area of my life. I don't need people like that.
Poking around.
Yeah, poking around.
Coolest car buy from each of us. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Coolest
we
car
bought?
to buy today, like, or that we've bought. Be more specific and resubmit.
Yeah. Hugh's less high because he's not in Canada right now.
Yeah.
Oh, weed's legal in Jersey. You're fine. Never mind.
Someone on Instagram asked, "What are your thoughts on the 458 market?" I think the 458 market's a bargain right now. The 458s have been in the upper 100 range, low 200 range for quite a few months now, and I feel like it's only a matter of time until they really start going up because they shouldn't go down anymore. But either way, at those prices, I feel like they're just it's a lot of car for the money. It's a fast, good-looking, reliable Ferrari for that price.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like this one. Biggest regret of a car you had a chance to buy but passed it up. I know what Fred's is.
Yep.
Oh, I know what it is. Actually, back in like 2000, 8 or so, I was looking at buying a higher mile Ford GT. But a Ford GT, not the GT40, the GT. The when they relaunched it.
Yeah, the 2005.
And no one wanted the damn thing at first. If you remember, no one wanted it. And they got down into the under 100,000 range.
Mhm.
And I remember like doing the math, and I think I found one for, I want to say like $80,000 back then, or maybe it was even cheaper. And I was like, if I sell this and this, and I buy like a Toyota Camry, I can finance the rest of this thing. I should have done that. That would, damn.
Yep. I should have bought your 458. I was 2 months behind on getting the job offer to move here when you finally sold it. I was like,
yeah. Okay.
About 2 years ago, there was a Formula Ford race car that had been redone, and it was in Jersey, and it was something I could have afforded. It was very similar to what Jocko raced.
Yeah.
And I regret not buying that.
Dude.
I couldn't have driven it on the street, but it would have been a cool car to just sneak out every once in a while.
Just do a lap.
Yeah.
I live in the country. I can get it.
Yeah. You can get away with it.
I think mine was Dan's 430. There was a time right before you sold it to
Frankie.
Stop Maverick, wherever on Instagram, that I talked to you about it, and I was just like, I just wasn't quite confident enough to pull the trigger. And as soon as you sold it, I was like, damn, why did I let that go?
Dude,
it was sorted. I mean, it was so sorted at that point.
It had been, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, then the door broke the day he bought it.
Yeah.
Right. True.
and then the AC died shortly after.
Looks like a dodged a bullet. But anyway, I regretted it at that moment, but it all worked out.
Yeah. Really quick, someone asked, how's the recovery in the vasectomy? 100% would do it again. Yes, absolutely would do it again. It wasn't awful, but it's not pleasant. Recovery is going pretty well. I'm gonna say I'm 85% back to functional of like just being able to do stuff around. So like certain things, like I found certain positions you gotta be careful because stuff can move around in ways that are not pleasant, but most of the time it's good. But I feel like the 488s are finally getting appreciated for the amazing cars they are. Do you think the 458 will jump them? I don't know what you mean by jump them. In value?
Yeah, it's got to be value.
Maybe.
Not close.
It got, well, for a while, there actually was overlap.
Was it?
Yeah. About 2-3 years ago, there was overlap where the 488s were below the value of the 458s.
Yep.
And I think what's happened is not so much that the 458, like I think the 4, so when everything kind of came down, 48s kind of stayed flat and the 458s came down. So 458s were priced about where the 488s are today, about like a year and a half ago. So I think
the 48s didn't get the COVID balloon that the 458s
right
did.
Right. The 488s did not go up crazy during COVID.
Yeah, they weren't loved.
No, but now
people are appreciating them more.
Yeah, exactly. So the same person on Instagram asked, do you think paying $250,000 for a 2015 458 with 12,000 miles is too much? Depends.
Yeah, what's the spec?
Is it a spider? Is it high spec?
Low
I mean, I'm gonna say most likely that's too much. I certainly would not pay that much for that car unless it was like something super rare or like really incredible. But yeah. Where are we? Let's see. I'm sure you can hear my kid. Oh,
Oh man,
oh, poor guy.
it's gonna be one of those nights.
Oh man, he's poor Meg. I was just about to get another beer, and I was like, nope.
You should text her to bring you one. See how that plays out.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god! How badly do you want me to get my balls kicked in?
Yeah.
God.
Make for good TV there.
Oh lordy, no.
Spike.
Let's see here. Better driving experience: 458 or 488.
488.
That's tough.
I haven't driven a 458 enough to say.
I like them both.
Is there
I like-
lag in the 488? Like, is the
Not
458
really.
more linear? Or, I mean,
It's pretty.
It's
The
pretty
turbos
linear.
are very linear.
Yeah. Only in like 7th gear at 1,000 RPMs is there turbo lag.
Yeah, the higher gears, low RPM.
Yeah.
There's some turbo lag, but I don't know. It's tough. They both have things I like and dislike about them.
The radio
So-
controls are a lot better on the 488.
The tech is way better in the 488.
Yeah.
And I would say the ride quality is significantly improved.
The steering's better too.
The steering is a little bit better.
That's true. It's not so twitchy.
Yeah, it's definitely not as twitchy of a car as the 458.
And it's
Yeah.
more powerful and faster.
The biggest negative is the sound.
Yes, that
You
is
just
true.
you gotta get rid of those damn cats and put an X pipe in there, and then yeah. 355s are still stupid here. 430 prices. 355s are pretty dumb here too. Still doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't understand why they're valued what they are right now. It doesn't. It's like okay,
they just look so good.
yes, that is true, and they sound so good.
Sound the best. Yeah, that's about it though.
Oh lordy, SF90 prices are dropping to a point where I may want one. Yeah,
Nope.
I mean,
No. Yeah, Jeff.
By Jocko's.
Yeah.
I don't think Jocko doesn't want to sell his.
Maybe not. Or maybe you can convince him.
Oh, here you go, Tyler. 458 Spider or Spider RS.
All right. So Carrie's right. The transmission on the Spider RS is way more intelligent than the Ferraris.
Spider
knows-
RS.
It knows what you want to do when you put your foot or you're in the gas or the brake.
It's pretty epic.
But I still feel like it would get boring. I don't know. Like it's so
Oh.
glued to the road. I don't know. But then watching like Carrie disappear on Tail of the Dragon.
You know what? You know what the problem is though? He has to drive it so hard.
It's true.
To get that same level of like
Yeah. What he told Steve and I when he let us drive it was, you can drive it, but you can't go below 6,000 RPMs. And he's right. Like over that car's freaking amazing. But
He also, like asking him about his selling his 458. He was like, I drove this. He goes, I drove the 458 again. He goes, I was fine with selling it. So
Yeah.
I could see that after driving it. It had a very McLaren-esque feel to the steering.
did.
Transmission was epic. It is, horsepower is more than you need in that size and weight car. And it's kind of special. I really, really liked it.
But you can also just push a button and have a roof on the 458 Spider. So
Yeah, that's true.
the,
Not a
the
big fan of
top
it.
is kind of lame.
yeah.
The top is kind of lame.
That's the big drawback of that car is it's like, oh come on.
Yeah. So how about
This-
both? I don't know.
Right?
Why not both?
Are 360s shit? No.
No.
I like 360s.
There-
I think
If you can afford the 430, go with the 430 for less maintenance and a little more horsepower, but essentially the same car.
Yeah.
360 is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's underpowered though. Like
Yeah.
you see that mentioned almost every time someone asks about it. Now it makes up for it in this true visceral, loud. You're in a Ferrari and it sounds great and it feels great and handles great and it consumes speed like it'll eat the highway up. But the reality of it is if you're next to a Hellcat or something on the highway and he downshifts and hit it and you downshift and hit it, he's going to pull, but at the end of the day, you're going to end up arriving in a Ferrari and he's going to be in a Hellcat. But so if you can get past that power difference, It's an amazing car to have. I love mine.
I mean, I think when you go out and you drive it around and you just enjoy the drive,
Yeah.
you'll never be like, oh, damn, I don't like this car, right? Like the driving experience that it offers is wonderful. You just have to also accept that it is a 20-year-old car, which for its era was incredible power, but 400 horsepower compared to modern cars is nothing.
Right.
So it's interesting because all of our perspective on cars has been altered because horsepower is so cheap now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just crazy horsepower numbers for, cheap cars. Our converted 430s is much a premium over the non-converted F1 cars now. It's narrowed closer. Now the converted cars are worth about so 430s, the converted cars are worth about the increased value of the cost of the conversion. So I would say they go up by about $20,000 to $30,000 tops. For a while there, they were catching huge $50,000-$60,000 premiums, but that's not true anymore. I think there's so many converted 430s on the market now that it's kind of normalizing the price to be okay. Well, it's just I can go get an F1 car and get it converted. Also, you got to remember, for a while, like there was only one player in the space, and now there's lots. So it's like,
Right.
It's not that hard to get a car converted. I don't care about the other companies, but we do conversions, and you can get one. We can get you scheduled in less than a month. It used to be a wait list and took forever and all this crap. And now it's like, you want to get a conversion? Send me an email, pay us a deposit for the parts, and we'll get you here in a couple weeks, and it'll be converted, and you'll be on your way by the end of the month. So it's not a big deal anymore. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what we were just kind of saying. Here you go, Steve, for you, while I go get a beer.
The Super G is a fantastic car. I think they're totally undervalued for how rare they are compared to regular Gallardos. The interior is fantastic and still looks modern, except for the actual radio controls. Those look dated Audi stuff, and it is an experience to drive and it is an experience to look at. But the Spider, just as far as performance goes, is epic. I mean, it's generations above what the Gallardo can do. I took it to a high-speed rally in Kentucky last year, and I was being left behind by Triptonic Porsches. I mean, even with the all-wheel drive and the horsepower that I had, the dynamic handling in the corners is just not the same as a Porsche. And that was, 2-generation-old Porsches who were still kicking my ass. I mean, Macan was kicking my ass in the corners. And I've driven a Macan, and I was not impressed with it, and they still could handle well in the corners. So I think you got to realize it's a 20-year-old car as far as performance in that way. It has a tremendous look appeal to it, and it's a wow factor car. And I wouldn't turn it, like the guy who got it. I hope he loves it, and I think it's a great car, and I loved my time with it. Great experience. I don't regret it. But yeah, the Spider RS is a fantastic car, and I would have traded them like that. Mm-hmm. It's that good.
Got to short circuit this one in. Thanks for the $5. Trying to spruce up a 2010 Scaglietti. Any recommendations? I don't know what you mean by spruce up. Clarify what you mean by spruce up. Are you just cleaning it up? I don't. Yeah, but cool. You can get it converted to a manual, so that's an option. That's what I would do if it's not already a manual. So let's see here. Do 458s lose any of the analog feel? Is it like the 991 versus 997 911s? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some computer control taking over on the 458, but I don't think it still has a bit of that like you're still driving the car feel to it versus some of the crazy shit. Like I don't when you drive the McLarens that are just insanely fast, there's no way there's no way that you're driving the car that fast. Like, you know, the computers are saving your ass along the way as you're driving it. Because if you turned off traction control or any of the computer stability, whatever stuff in those cars, you'd be in the ditch, you know, just very quickly. Hell, I remember driving one of the 720s we had, and just driving down the road going like 50, 60 miles an hour, and I floored it, and it spun the tires just driving down the road. And like the computers kicked in and saved me. And I was like, if I had not had computers right there, I would have crashed this car without a doubt. Like, so anyway,
Their computers do work well though.
Yeah, they work really well. But I feel like the 458 lets you get loose and you still feel like you're driving it. And like you know, it's still got a very strong connection to the driver. So yeah. Oh, and this is totally valid. New tire technology is so much better.
Oh yeah. Although taking Greg back today, we still spun the tires through third gear. So I really wasn't trying. Yeah. I was not trying.
Well, that's, I mean, case in point, they took that Porsche. Oh my God, just drawing a blank. The what is the one that Paul Walker died in? The Carrera GT, yeah, and put modern tires on it, and recently broke its Nürburgring lap record.
Yeah,
for that particular car,
just like 9 seconds.
Yeah, significant change.
Yeah, I think it was 9 seconds, wasn't it? Oh, speaking of crashes, did anyone else see what happened today? This there was a 15-mile 2000 Ford Mustang Cobra R at a dealership. So delivery mile Cobra R, never been. It was still in the dealership, so it's never even been registered.
Oh no!
And some dipshit blasted their Hyundai through the dealership and ran into the damn thing. And I'm just, I was just thinking, okay, it's bad enough when you plow into a dealership like an immovable object like that, but then you happen to hit like one of the most collectible, rare cars like that is super desired in the condition that everyone would want. And it's like, oh my
God. Dang, man.
Why was that outside?
No, it was in.
It was inside the
inside the building. They went into the building.
Oh, they yeeted it hard. All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just
Carfax for that Mustang is gonna be crazy. 15 miles and
no, zero owners. Zero owners. One accident.
Here's your follow-up.
Oh, manual upgrade, suspension. Yeah, I mean, definitely do a manual conversion. Talk to us. We'll get you in touch. We can get that going. Suspension. Yeah, you could lower it. I don't know off the top of my head if they have lowering springs available for that, but probably, because I would assume it shares suspension with some other car. But
stance it maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, lower it at least like an inch.
Yeah,
and maybe get some spacers or different wheels. That would probably make it look a lot cooler.
Yeah,
I would.
I mean, I know you talk about it in the videos, and it's not what he said, but like doing the interior deep clean makes such a difference. Like, holy shit!
Yeah. If the car's hasn't had like a nice deep clean on the leather and everything, do that. It'll bring out the leather color so much better, make it look a lot nicer.
Yeah, clean the carpets.
The 612s are road warriors, man. I would make sure the stereo's in check, convert it to manual, and just go
driving the back roads,
the highways, man, or something. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, the Gen 5 Vipers are just going up. Yeah. I think that's a great car if you want an investment car.
I don't think Acura NSX will, though.
I disagree on the hybrid NSX. No one wants the damn things.
Yeah.
They didn't want them when they were new, and they still don't want them.
Yep.
But if you're talking about the first gen NSXs, yeah, people want those, of course.
I'm really surprised that the first gens have not broke 35, 40,000. I can just see them being collectible like Cobras one day, but they hang out in the high 30s. They don't seem
for the Vipers.
the original Vipers, right? The first
Yeah. I feel like it's almost like they're so awful.
Yeah, right. they've broken the line of being
That's
awful.
why
Collectible.
Everyone wants the Gen 2s and 3s because those are like, oh yeah. Especially the Gen 2 is really like, because it basically looks a lot like the Gen 1, but it actually has like, also people want the coupes.
Yeah.
The difference between the coupes and the convertibles or the coupes and the roadsters, huge value difference for the Vipers. Yeah. I like this question. What's the most overrated sports car in each of your opinions? Oof, I could piss off a lot of people with my answers to that one. The most overrated? Oh man.
I have one.
I mean, I can think of two that immediately pop in my mind. And I definitely want to catch flack. One is the NSX. Like the first one, I think is so overrated. I did not really care for that. Oh, the S2000. Sorry, Greg. I feel like it's super overrated. But actually, the big one that comes to mind, and I might get shit for this, is I think the 911 is overrated. I think the earlier ones. Now, like when you get to like the special 911s, they're pretty damn cool. But like the regular Carreras and Carrera S or Carrera 4S or whatever, all of those are just kind of like, they just don't do it for me. Yeah. So
I think the Carrera GT is overrated. Even though I just mentioned it a minute ago of doing something special, I
think it's ugly.
I think it may be one of the ugliest cars to ever turn a wheel. I just cannot stop looking at it.
I remember when it came out and I was like,
yeah,
why is this that expensive? Like it looks so awkward. Like that wing, this god awful square wing that like raises up out of the body.
Yeah.
And it's like,
looks like almost like no thought was put into it. I have seen an aftermarket kind of, I don't know, it was like a bubble hatch or something that went
yes,
from the bar over.
Gambala.
Okay, yeah. So that makes the profile of it look quite a bit better, but then everything else hanging off of it, the body kit stuff made it look just as ugly as it had been. So I don't know if there's any fixing that car, in my opinion. But.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never driven a Daytona. I would love to. Jocko owned one. And if I remember right, he said he hated it, right? Jocko, if you're still here, correct me if I'm wrong. You hated the Daytona. I haven't talked to Q in years. No. Oh, well, that's true. You ever seen this?
Oh, touche.
It's not a sports car, though.
If we're talking in the realm of supercars, let me
or sports cars.
Refine my statement. If we're talking about hypercars or super sports cars, I think it's one of the ugliest. But
I'd take the Cybertruck over the new Jaguar concept car.
Oh, God, Lord, it's the worst. Like that's like there's gonna be a case study in 5 years, and it's gonna be titled "How to Destroy a 100-Year Brand in Less than 6 Months."
Yep.
It really is. It really is something. I mean, put all the colorful stuff aside. Just the actual design of that concept car is so amateurish. And I'm speaking as a trained industrial designer. Like I have some, knowledge of how this stuff goes down, and it just looks like this was the very first pass from someone who just learned how to do 3D work. I really cannot believe that that's the concept they're putting forward.
What I'm shocked with is like, did none of you do market research of your demo?
Yeah,
because you basically alienated your entire existing user base.
I think that's what they wanted, right?
I think that's the point, though, because
that's the thing.
Buying cars.
So then they're going to gamble entirely on something that they have no data on.
Well, they weren't making money anyway, so
That's true. I mean, they were failing anyway, but like, okay, let's just really fail. Like, let's fail spectacularly.
Right.
As long as we're going down, I
Yeah.
want fireworks on the way out.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
like who had the balls to put stone on the interior? Like, I know it's a concept car, but come on. Like stone, like that's gonna shatter in a crash and like kill the occupants on the inside. It'll just become shrapnel.
It's just all so odd.
Yeah.
It's really strange. Great comment from Instagram. Chances of Ferrari making another mid-engine V8. I wish I could say it was good, but I don't think they're going to.
It depends on the EU dropping regulations, right?
Like, it sounds really sad, but it doesn't look like it. So I don't know. They weren't stoned. If they were stoned, it would have looked prettier.
At least more creative.
Yeah. They were I swear to God, they were like, I don't even know what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's
They took the car from Ace and Gary and just
Yeah.
moved it over a little bit. If anyone remembers that Saturday Night Live little special.
so whatever. And there's something else I wanted to bring up tonight. Shoot, what was it? Oh well, it'll come to me in a little bit. It'll probably come to me at 15 minutes from now after we're done. But oh well. Which Ferrari could grate the most cheese, Testarossa or SF90? I mean, that Testarossa.
Yeah, SF90 doesn't have strakes on it.
Yeah, there's no strakes in SF9. The question is Testarossa or SP3.
SP3, I was just about to say.
SP3 has tighter strakes, so you're going to get finer cheese grates.
Yep.
It's going to be,
Important.
it's a lot finer. It's going to be, yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
Testarossa is
that's-
like cheese you're gonna throw in a chili, right?
Oh, dude, it's like big blocks of grated cheese. And, it comes out and it's like, you can grab that sucker, Oh, you meant the SP3. Okay. That's an interesting point. If they make another mid-engine V8, will it be a special like SP3 type thing? It could be. I don't know. That would be interesting.
SP4. Yeah.
It'd be sad because if they've totally axed the mid-engine V8, that kills off a lot of interested people. Don't Jaguar my Ferrari.
Please make a new T-shirt.
Yeah.
Just have a square with a prancing horse on it.
Oh my god.
That's their new logo. A square shield with the prancing horse.
Oh.
But it's all a stylized horse that doesn't even really look like a
Yeah,
horse.
it can't be a horse because jeez. Yeah, you just need that as a shirt. Don't Jaguar my Ferrari. God.
I mean, Ferrari, I swear to God, Ferrari is doing they're trying their damnedest to not make cars sexy, awesome Ferraris that you dream of anymore. I mean, Ferrari, Lamborghini, all the, those were the cars that were on your bedroom wall as a poster. And there's nothing they've produced in the last 10 years that you're like, oh, I want that on my poster, on a poster on the wall. I mean, look at 458 on my wall, literally, because it's a poster car. The new SF90, no. The 296, no, not really.
I think they do well to come out with something. I mean, just shock the industry and come out with something a lot more back to basics, like tube chassis. You know what I mean? No carbon fiber tub, something, seriously old school and kind of handcrafted. Maybe they wouldn't get past safety regulations are, I'm sure that's a problem, but just something where they take all the technology out. I'm sure people would snap them up.
I swear, you know what? I swear to God, if someone created a new supercar brand that was just old school, like beautiful styling, a big engine that's mid-engine, V8, V10, V12, doesn't matter, manual transmission, limited computer interventions, it would sell like hotcakes.
A Scud version of a 296 with a manual transmission and no hybrid.
Yes.
Make it limited edition.
There you go.
It's right here. Everyone, look at that. Everyone's saying the same thing.
I said that from day one. That car is beautiful. And it
So
even
we need to buy stock in Ferrari so that we can influence them from the inside.
Right.
Play the publicly traded game.
Hennessy's kind of doing it.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
The problem with it is it's too expensive.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That thing is unobtainable to most people. It is a hypercar in the truest sense of the world. It is what I was just describing, but they've turned it up to such a level.
It's $1 million car.
Yeah, but if they could, and no one wants to walk. To the Boxster had a stigma when it came out. The Dino had a stigma when it came out. But if they just dropped down and sold something that's a little more, reasonable, I think they would.
Right.
The Pista is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That might be the last super cool car that Ferrari's created.
Yeah,
I think
That was still reasonable, although they weren't like, that's the funny thing. If you actually bought a Pista new, they weren't catastrophically expensive, but they all shot up in value. So yeah. SP3, yeah, exactly. The SP3 is a poster car.
Mm-hmm.
That is a car that you could, but the difference is that the SP3 is right now, if you wanted to get one, $6+ million car. Versus like when the Testarossa and Countach were on our walls, they were, well, of course, adjusted for inflation, I'm going to say they're what, like, $500,000 cars, maybe? I don't know what's adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, but both of those cars were not, those were production cars. So yeah, they were unattainable to us kids who wanted them because we could never afford them. But they weren't, you had to buy 4 Countaches before you could buy the special edition one.
That's true. Yeah, they were just available. You could just go buy one. Sort of. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the driving characteristics of the 296 are quite wonderful. I really enjoy the 296. The way it drives, it's phenomenal. But I feel like the problem with the 296 is that there's so much technology and battery and the hybrid stuff and all that in 10, 15 years, they're just going to be a problem. And it's going to be tough to keep those things running. Well, okay, yes, like the T50, but those are, again, multi-million-dollar cars.
Yeah. Same with the Nilo that people were talking about. Like,
oh, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate to admit it, but you're right. God. It sucks, but that's why do you think they're selling so many of them?
Yep.
There's a reason why they're being snapped up like crazy, because it's just a damn good car and they followed the equation.
Yeah.
And they're still making the hybrid version, but you don't have to buy it. You're not forced to buy it.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant, because now you got the techies who like that shit and they can go buy the E-Ray.
Yep.
But if you're like I don't want a hybrid, and so fuck yeah, I want the ZR1. I want a twin turbo monster. That sounds wonderful.
They started with the base, the template was the 458, which was a solid car of Ferrari, and then they just worked off of that.
Yep.
Made 4 cars out of it. Possibly 5.
And look at the Mustang. They've stayed true to their roots and they're selling tons of them still.
Yep.
So I just feel like, and Ferrari's they're going to argue, oh, well, we've sold more and more cars. It's like, yeah, but you're selling more and more Romas and SUVs now. Like
Rabid.
stuff that it's like the stuff that don't, in 20 years, do you think anyone's gonna be like, oh man, look at that Purosangue?
Yeah. No, they will, because the next sentence will be some dumbass paid $700,000.
No, you know what?
Right.
Oh, holy shit! You know what we're gonna do? We need to find when those things get wrecked and take that engine.
Take the engine out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now we found a use for them.
Far them out. That's
Like,
your
okay, dude. As soon as those damn things are getting wrecked, we will start buying them up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and they're still making another Corvette, the Zora.
Yep.
Dude. Damn it, Chevy.
I know. They have to, they need to continue refining the design of the shape of the design of the car.
Only thing. That's the only
Yeah,
thing I hate.
it's just so if they can refine it, not just keep adding to it. If they can refine it, I think they'll even have a bigger hit on their hands.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Americans don't do that very well.
Although the was it the
In general.
Revuelto or one of the new Lamborghinis has the same side strakes on the ZR1, and every time I see it, it's always like, God damn it! Like, why did they steal the Corvette look?
Oh yeah.
What the hell? Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the C9's already in works. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They have to. They got to design those for a solid half a decade before they
10
actually
years.
release it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they've definitely, dude. Now they're getting into F1.
Yeah.
I don't know. Their Blackwing sedans are pretty tough.
They're cool, but like it just, I feel like again, the styling of them is just like not attractive. I don't know. Yeah. 20 years from now, I'm a Purosangue customer for sure. Jack it up, make it Uncle Roman's jet boat. Well, I mean, isn't the Blackwing's engine just basically like Corvette engine? I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah, I mean the styling is. I mean, it's geared towards the demographic they're selling it to, but that demographic just is like someone who doesn't want to be ostentatious or flashy, but have a really solid highway banger. The engines are pretty badass in those cars.
The engine's
They
awesome.
handle really good too. They got the suspension down also.
Oh, sure.
Well,
They're great cars.
They use a modified version of the Camaro chassis for those things, and as a former owner of one of those Camaros, it did pretty good. It was shockingly good.
Yeah.
See, I actually like the CTSV, but I like the wagon. That to me was like, I love that. I love big old wagons with a big ass engine. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about a four-door sedan with a massive damn motor in the front that just sounds like America, and with styling be damned or not, like there's something special about that. So
dude,
I hope they keep making them.
it's a wonderful equation.
Yeah.
Of course, the better equation is take the smallest car you can and put the biggest engine you can in it. So I'm a fan of that too.
Add lightness.
Yeah. Smallest, lightest car you can with the biggest, baddest engine you can. So oh man.
And I'm gonna do what he said not to. You shouldn't base cars on your net worth. You should base on your liquid.
Yeah, because
What can you afford?
And you certainly don't want my advice because I make poor financial decisions.
Yeah, I bought a McLaren. You can't listen to me.
Dude, I gave up a lucrative software career to go be a car salesman.
Yeah.
That was smart.
There you go. 30 to 40%. You need a shitload of cars the more rich you get.
I mean, depends. Kids, wife, house, all those things. Totally,
Yeah. Net worth is not where you judge that from.
no. Well, yeah, not even a car salesman, a used car salesman. You had to point that out, didn't you? I'm gonna argue it's like basically a half a step above like a lawyer, with none of the respect.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, it is 9:30.
Hey.
Hooray!
Dan's like, I'm gonna go question my life choices.
I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep.
Dan, you're in the 1% of the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing good. Of the car salesmen and lawyers at the bottom, you're in the upper 1%.
Oh, thanks. I feel so much better about myself now. Told my kids their inheritance will be in my garage. There you go.
Yep.
Good night, Jocko.
See you, Jocko. Well, guys,
Yeah.
thanks everyone for joining us. We do appreciate it as always. Yeah, we'll be back to doing whatever next week. I filmed a bunch of stuff, but I haven't edited anything, so I don't know if I'll get a video in time for Saturday. I apologize, but it should be something for Monday. So hang tight. I filmed 3 videos today, so just got to get some editing done, but I'm not caught up. But
Have a good
Anyway.
New Year's.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll see you guys we'll see you in 2025. Holy crap.
See you next year.
So see you next year. Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.